Right, we're back. It's a brand new theme. It's a brand new season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brand new year.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 2025, Sarah.
Well,
for the listener.
Yeah. We're still in the thick of build up to Christmas, technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the time this goes out, that's crazy.
Yes, I know.
We're so organised.
Well, I know. I couldn't be more excited for this one. I'll be honest with you. I think at the end of our last main feed episode, what was it? Almost Famous.
Yep.
You coined a phrase from coming of age to coming of cage.
Yeah.
So we've got 8 Nicolas Cage movies to go through.
Which is like, what? 0.2% of his filmography.
It was so hard to get it down to 8.
Yeah, I bet.
There are a few that I was considering, which we'll probably go through in a wrap show in 8-9 weeks' time.
Well, we've already covered 2 Nic Cage films unintentionally.
Yeah. Which were?
Dream Scenario.
Yeah.
And Con Air. Both your seasons.
Oh, they were both. You're right. So at the end of this season, we would have covered 10 Nicolas Cage films in total.
All chosen by you.
Yeah. Brilliant.
You're sitting there in your Nicolas and the Cages fake band t-shirt as well.
My new favourite apparel.
Apparel?
Apparel? Yeah. T-shirt. Never coming off.
Never?
This is remaining on my persons at all times.
Oh, that's going to get stinky.
No, because I'm going to buy multiple of the same t-shirt and just have each, like, wash one and then wear one and then wash one and wear one.
You're going to be that guy.
Yeah, I'm going to be the guy that wears Nicolas and the Cage's band t-shirt guy.
Until you find a better Nicolas Cage t-shirt.
I don't think... Have you seen this Nicolas Cage t-shirt?
I'm looking at it right now.
I don't think you can improve upon this.
It is perfection, yeah. You're correct.
Yeah. It was super difficult to whittle it down to 8 movies. Today we're covering Vampire's Kiss from 1988.
Oh, we sure are.
So I thought we would start with that one because I had an idea of doing this one in chronological order, in terms of when the movie was released.
Mm-hmm.
Never done that before, but I thought it would be appropriate and fun to do it for an actor season. It's our first actor season.
Yeah.
Haven't done that before. A little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been going through his filmography for the last couple of weeks and managed to get it down to 8. If you want to see that full lineup, then it's available on our Patreon as a free member. You don't have to be a paying member, but if you want to see it, it's over there.
But we'd like you more if you were.
Well, yeah, of course. We'd like you more if you paid us.
Not that there's any sort of favouritism going on, but if there were.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is first because this is chronological and this is 1988?
Yeah, 1988.
But what made you choose the film itself?
Before we get our teeth stuck into the movie,
see what you did there.
I'm going to attempt to, on each episode, find 3 facts about Nicolas Cage, confirm that they are actually correct, hopefully from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
In this case, the horse being Nicolas Cage.
The man himself, yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that's quite difficult to do because there must be so much floating around that's absolute bollocks but sounds like it could be true.
Yeah.
And the inverse must be true as well. Like there must be so much that's wildly nonsensical but is actual fact.
Yeah. It's going to be one, like if you did a Would I Lie to You and you did 3 Nicolas Cage facts.
Impossible
to tell which one's
which.
Which one's true and which one's fake. So yeah, I'm going to try and find 24 facts that are actual facts and not just internet nonsense.
Okay.
3 per episode. So I've got 3 here for this one just to get us going. Now, a lot of it, I imagine, if you're a film fan, you probably know a lot of these already, but just to sort of whet our Cage...
Whet our whistles.
Whet our Cage whistles. So, you know Nicolas Cage is a Coppola.
Yep.
He changed his name from Coppola to Cage. Do you know why he did that?
Because he went forward in time and saw Megalopolis and thought, I don't want to be associated with this bag of shit. And then went back in time and changed his name.
Yes, that's exactly...
Is it?
Yeah,
am I right?
That's exactly why, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So he went to high school with Pauly Shore, you say?
He went to high school with Pauly Shore, yeah. And they were neighbours in Las Vegas during the pandemic. So can you...
Oh my God.
Can you imagine the parties, can't you? Pauly Shore and Nicolas Cage.
No, I'm not imagining parties.
What are you imagining then?
I'm imagining the two of them just running around the streets yelling things whilst wearing dressing gowns and just...
Like, Wheeze the Juice.
Yeah.
And I'll be back.
No, wheezing the juice.
Which, incidentally, was one of our... before we chose the name Shoot a Hostage, Wheeze the Juice was one of the titles that we were like, maybe we'll call ourselves Wheezing the Juice.
I'm kind of glad we shit-canned that in hindsight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I'd have been happy with it.
Would you?
Don't get me wrong, I'm happy with our name now, but like Wheezing the Juice.
It was fun.
We'd have to say it, welcome to Wheezing the Juice all the time. It's such a bizarre word. People think you're crazy.
Yeah.
What's your podcast called? Oh, Wheezing the Juice.
What's that about?
What does that mean?
Couldn't tell you. Okay, so neighbours during the pandemic. Interesting. God, can you imagine if they had to like isolate together? I would say they would both go insane, but we might already be there.
I'd watch that show.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
That's like
Rumours.
I'm not a fan of reality TV. However, if you pitched something like that, I'm all in.
If you'd told me in 1996, when I just watched The Rock for the 37th time, that in 30 years' time you're going to think that Nicolas Cage is more insane than Pauly Shore, I'd have thought you were insane.
Yeah,
honestly,
because I bet Pauly Shore's really boring.
Yeah, probably. So I got one more fact for you, and you probably know this, but he once owned, and may still own, I haven't confirmed that, but he once owned a two-headed snake.
I did not know that. A live two-headed snake, or like a taxidermy one?
No, a real live breathing two-headed snake.
You know, when you said all of this stuff is coming from the horse's mouth, do we know that he's not trolling us?
We can't be certain. I just have to take him at face value.
Okay, yeah.
But the interesting thing, he's such an interesting guy, and you'll understand, like, if you're going to pick an actor to choose and talk about 8 of their movies, there's so much to talk about with this guy. But
oh no, I get it.
He, with the snake thing, he said that he had a dream about a two-headed eagle, and the very next day, someone called him saying that they know someone that is selling a two-headed snake. So Cage was like, kismet. I will take that two-headed snake off your hands. And I love the idea of someone going, here, I've got a two-headed snake. Know anyone that wants to buy one? And the person going, yeah, I know a guy.
I mean, a two-headed eagle is the natural predator of a two-headed snake. So what does that all mean?
I don't know.
Don't think too hard about it. We've a ways to go yet. Don't burn out on that question.
Okay.
We'll get to everything eventually. There'll be like season 396 when it's just you talking to me, except I'm a brain in a jar being voiced by AI.
You'll be a brain in a jar being voiced by AI.
And you'll be a doddery old man.
No, I'll be a digital version of myself.
Like Black Mirror style.
I'll still be alive, but I plan to upload my consciousness as it is to the cloud, and then you'll be able to podcast with my digital version, and I can just play Gran Turismo.
Oh, what?
That's my plan. I'm training it at the moment.
I don't like this. So I still have to work?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'm doing the legwork now, so I don't have to work later. Think of it as a pension, but like a digital consciousness pension.
A digital pension.
Yeah. He once publicly denied being a vampire, which this fact might have made more sense in our previous episode.
Yes, in hindsight.
But I didn't want to spoil that movie. So do you remember that photo of Nicolas Cage that was, it wasn't of Nicolas Cage, or maybe it was, depends on which conspiracy theory you buy.
Oh, yeah. But he was a time traveller or something.
Well, I think that was some of the...
I heard that one.
There was a picture of a man from 1870, and it looked like Nicolas Cage. You look at it, yeah, it does look like Nicolas Cage. It was originally posted on eBay, apparently, with the heading, Nicolas Cage is a vampire. And I don't know if you'd pay this, but the asking price was £1 million for this photo.
No, I don't have £1 million.
If you had £1 million.
No.
Exactly. Because you're not a moron.
No. And it's clearly fake.
I don't think
I'm not going to pay any money for a photo of a random man that isn't Nicolas Cage.
But the description said it's Nicolas Cage.
Oh, well, you can't lie on eBay.
Do you want to? I've written down the description that was on eBay as well. Right, you ready for this?
Oh, I don't know.
Personally, I believe it's him. Okay, then.
I'm convinced.
Take my £1,000,000. Personally, I believe it's him and that he is some sort of walking undead / vampire, etc.
Etc. I mean, well, yeah, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself. You don't want to claim that he's definitely a vampire.
No.
You've got to leave a little bit of ambiguity.
If you say undead and vampire, you could be like, oh, is it zombie? Is he a ghost?
Just some sort of reanimated corpse.
Yeah. Or is he etc.? Is he something that we
Could
don't know
be
about?
etc.
They've
Yeah.
covered all bases with that description, and that's why it's smart.
Did they sell it? Is my question.
No.
Oh.
So personally, I believe it's him, and that he is some sort of walking undead / vampire, etc., who quickens. Someone's been watching Highlander.
Okay.
/ reinvents himself once every 75 years or so. Like a lot of reading into this, like
They've created an entire lore.
exactly, and I love that. And it also said 150 years from now, he might be a politician, the leader of a cult, or a talk show host.
I'm going to say leader of a cult. He should be a leader of a cult now. I'd join it. Well, it depends what the initiation is, actually.
The initiation is to watch The Rock every day for a year.
Oh, no, I'm out.
Okay. So Cage later went on Letterman and said it was fake. And I quote, "You can't take pictures of vampires."
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Is he a comedy genius?
Yeah, he is a genius. He's definitely a genius.
Of all the things he could have said, I love that. He's not wrong, though.
No.
And as a vampire, he would know that.
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
It's a double bluff.
It is, yeah.
We're back.
Again.
Another Nicolas Cage movie.
I can't believe it's only the third.
It's only the third. Yeah, this week we're taking our faces off. Oh, we've already taken what you didn't know. What I didn't tell you, actually, Sarah, is to prepare for the show. What I did is when you were asleep, I made you sleep deeper with some drugs, and I cut your face off, and I cut mine off, and I swapped our faces and our voices. And I'm actually you. I'm actually Sarah, and you're actually Dan.
This is so confusing.
Yeah.
I feel like I would know that. I'm looking at you right now, and you look like Dan.
Yeah, because I've done the surgery.
But my brain is telling me that I am Sarah. So.
Oh, but that's your brain tricking you, because your eyes are the windows of your soul.
This is such bullshit. Straight out of the gate,
did
talking
you not
nonsense.
Watch this movie?
I did
and they
watch this
explained
movie.
everything perfectly via science.
I don't know if they explained it perfectly by science.
Didn't you believe Colm Feore?
No.
And when he was telling him about taking faces off and
No.
doing haircuts?
I didn't buy it for a second. Not even when they 3D printed that ear for Gavin Belson.
Gavin Belson. I didn't know it was Gavin Belson.
We're getting way too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I think Face Off is peak Cage for me.
Yeah.
In 1997 is probably when I was like, this guy, because he's a bit safer in The Rock. He's a bit he's a very unique character, and it's interesting to watch. But it's
Nicolas Cage at like a 5.
Yeah.
Whereas this is almost full 10.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know who I would have put opposite him other than John Travolta. I can't think of anyone else that could have done that.
No. But as much as I dislike I can't even say his goddamn name.
Gon Travolta.
As much as I dislike the man, he is good in this.
Yeah.
I will.
He's a lot.
I'll reluctantly concede that point.
I could see if it gets on your nerves, gets on your wick. I can understand that because it's a lot. But I think that's what this movie is, though. This movie is just a lot. That's what they could have called it if they hadn't called it Face Off.
I think the biggest hurdle that I have is I really dislike his face.
Yeah.
And you see see it a lot.
You're in luck.
I'm not, because they put it on someone else.
They ruin both people by associating Travolta with both of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I can't think of one person who would have done it better. No, he's enormous.
I know.
I love the fact in this, there's that line that's like, oh, the height difference is negligible.
Yeah.
There's a good 2 inches between them.
I think you're right. I think they're pretty different heights in real life.
And they have wildly different teeth. They didn't swap the teeth. His wife didn't even notice that his smile had changed.
Well, she didn't notice that his dick had changed either.
That's a really good point.
Or did it change?
Did they swap dicks?
Did they swap dick? They should have called it dick swap.
Off.
Dick yeah. Wingard.
Nobody's confusing that with a hockey movie.
Hey, Wingard, if you're listening, there's your idea. Get on it.
Yeah, this is Face Off 2. We've written it for you.
Get a move on. Towards the latter part of that sequence, we get introduced to Lieutenant Dan. And now he's got legs.
Kevin Dunn. Yeah, Commander Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn. There's someone in the cast that
calls Kevin Dunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a story actually that there was a hotel room, really swanky hotel room booked for Kevin Dunn. And the actor Kevin Dunn sort of went up and got settled into it and then got yeeted out when it was revealed it was actually for the character of Kevin Dunn.
Right.
It was for second build Gary Sinise.
So Gary Sinise kicked him out, did he?
I don't know if he personally did it, but yeah.
No.
There was some confusion over those names.
Well, what happened is he went to the UPM and went, get that fucker out my room. Gary Sinise. When's the last time you watched a new Gary Sinise movie?
I don't know. Do you know what? I was thinking about that as we were watching it. And the only thing I could think of him having been in, I'm going to say recently, and I'm going to really embarrass myself.
Of Mice and Men.
No, but I do fucking love that.
It's great.
I watched that a bunch when I was in high school, and we actually read the Steinbeck book.
It's the same. I think it was obligation at school in our generation. I think you had to.
Oh, we didn't have to. I went and rented it on VHS from the library like a big fucking nerd.
Well, mine was mandated, so
right.
You know. But
good movie. Good movie.
It is good. It was one of those days where like, we got to watch this. Oh, that was right actually.
Yeah.
This.
But yeah, he was in one of the CSIs. I want to say like CSI New York.
There's a New York, is there?
Oh, there's a CSI everywhere. It's like a CSI Gravesend. I don't know.
I don't think there is.
CSI Clacton.
CSI Jaywick. That's on every day of the year.
CSI Wigan.
CSI Hull.
I mean, they could. There's a lot of room there. But yeah, when I say recent, I'm sure that's like probably going back close to 20 years now. So I don't know. Is he still acting?
I guess.
Did he retire?
Maybe he's doing theatre. Maybe he's
True,
sort of retired or semi-retired or does bits and pieces. But he's definitely, I feel like in the 90s, he was in everything. Every time he popped up in a movie, I remember me and my mum would go, Lieutenant Dan! Welcome to episode number 69. Dudes.
69.
Yeah, it's 69, this one.
And you chose the Wicker Man remake for episode 69.
The Wicker... What do you mean remake?
Don't do that.
Is this a remake?
Don't do that. We've seen the original together at the cinema. This won't fly with me.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. What year was the original? Was it 73?
It was 73.
Okay. I'm sure we'll mention the original, the Wicker Man, at some point.
Can we talk about that instead, in fact?
Review. No, because Nicolas Cage wasn't in the original The Wicker Man, was he? That was Edward Wood.
I suppose.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Loads.
Edward Woodward could chuck woodchuck.
Could he?
Sweet chuck. Knuckle puck.
You've always got to bring things back to Police Academy somehow.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I've got that eggs just firmly cemented in my brain constantly. Listen, let me begin this show by extending an extremely heartfelt apology to you, Sarah, and to you, the listener. I'm very sorry.
I don't accept.
If you are completely insane and for some reason you watch the movies before we release our episodes on them, I'm really sorry that you've had to suffer watching The Wicker Man. But equally, you know, don't have to. There's no one's holding a gun to your head. No one's holding a bees to your head, are they?
It's not holding bees to your head.
Not the bees. We'll talk about that.
We will.
We will. Yeah, Nicolas Cage season. We're in the second half of my Nicolas Cage season now. And why did I choose The Wicker Man, I hear you ask?
Don't know. Please elaborate.
Honestly, it I was just curious. I've never seen this before.
You know the saying, don't you?
No.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Well, luckily, I am not a cat,
Hmm.
and I am still alive. For now. Or maybe I'm dead, I don't know.
Maybe you expired during the watching of that movie, and you just don't know it.
Yeah, it's possible, I guess. Maybe my brain exploded or something. I had a stroke. Yeah, so I'm very sorry if you had to watch The Wicker Man. I was just dead curious about this movie because it's definitely one that's in the zeitgeist that a lot of people know, a lot of people reference as a really terrible movie, and probably one of the worst remakes people would say about it. I don't know if I would go that far, but we'll get into that.
I believe it's got a 3.8 on IMDb and about 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
Which I think is more than Madame Web.
I think this is better than Madame Web.
I know what I would rather watch.
The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
At least there's more unintentional hilarity in The Wicker Man.
Is it unintentional, though?
Yes. I don't care what they say. Look, we'll get to it. But yes, it was unintentional. You can't convince me otherwise.
When you say they, to which you refer?
I am referring to Nicolas Cage himself, the man himself, and director Neil LaBute.
Neil LaBute.
Is it LaBute?
I don't know. I've never heard of him. Before this movie.
Never heard of him?
No, I know that he directed that thing with Samuel Jackson. That's about it.
What thing?
I don't know. The Avengers Infinity War or whatever it was. No, it was the one where I haven't seen this movie.
Oh no.
So please don't come for me. But isn't it the one where Samuel Jackson plays a racist?
Wait, what?
I think it's called Lakeview Terrace. He's a police officer. I know that because on the poster he's wearing.
Is that the plot of that movie, that he's a racist?
You're making me doubt myself now. Yes, let's go with yes.
Against who?
White people, I guess.
You can't be racist to white people.
I'm
That's not
saying,
a thing.
I'm not saying you can, but I'm saying that might be the premise of that movie. And I could be wrong.
Samuel L. Jackson hates white people. Understandable, honestly.
Yeah, I get it. But I didn't know that. I had never heard of Neil LaBute until we watched this movie, and I went back on Letterboxd, looked at his credits, and thought, "Oh, that's the thing with Samuel Jackson. I think he's a racist in that movie."
Right.
That was the extent of my research for this episode. So
that was it. Wow.
The rest is on you, I'm afraid.
I mean, so he used to be quite an edgy filmmaker. I remember sort of late 90s, early 2000s when he was making stuff like In the Company of Men and Nurse Betty, both of which I sort of read about in Empire magazine at the time, and it sort of sounded quite acerbic and black comedies, a little bit dark.
So you've seen those?
I've seen In the Company of Men. I don't think I ever watched Nurse Betty.
All right, I've never heard of those. Not seen them.
Okay, but yeah, got a fair bit of buzz when they came out, I believe. But now he's sort of just making straight to streaming garbage like House of Darkness and Fear the Night.
Oh, what other generic titles you can think of?
Exactly. House of Darkness I have actually seen.
Of course you have.
I watched that when you weren't here.
Did you?
It was a really shitty kind of single location horror film with Justin Long and his partner Kate Bosworth.
Of course Justin Long's in it.
Yeah.
If it's a crappy movie, well, who should we get? Long will do it. Except
He's
from
in some decent stuff too.
Yeah, Barbarian.
And Idiocracy.
Is he in that?
Yeah.
Why
come you don't got a tattoo?
I've only seen that once. I saw it, I think, a couple of years maybe after it came out and thought, this is ridiculous.
We don't need to watch it anymore. We're living it.
Well, that's the point. Now I'm curious to go back to it and go, oh, this could be a documentary.
Yeah, they didn't go far enough.
Yeah, well, precisely. Mike Judge is a genius.
Terry Crews president had better hair than the current one. That's for sure.
I'd vote for Terry Crews.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'd never heard of Neil LaBute, I'll be honest with you.
We can say Neil LaBute, like he's a Canadian, if you want. We can say it the Canadian way.
Neil LaBute.
Neil LaBute.
What am I saying? Neil LaBute.
No, that's what I was saying.
What am I saying?
LaBute.
What's the difference? That's the same, isn't it?
Boot and Butte.
It's the U bit.
Yeah.
Right, all right. Well, who cares? I'm never going to watch another one of his movies.
Okay. Maybe I'll program one into another lineup just to piss you off.
Just as a form of revenge for making you watch this one.
Yeah. I'm already working on my revenge for my next theme.
Yeah,
Don't you worry.
We were just talking about that before we started recording, so that will be fun.
Yep.
But that's
for one of us.
That's months away. That's 11, isn't it? That'll be season 11.
Yeah. This is 9.
This is 9. We've still got to do fucking 10 yet.
Yes.
Which I can't wait for.
I can't wait for 10.
Yeah, I know. I know, but that's a while away. We've still got to get through the Wicker Man and 3 other Nicolas Cage movies.
Well, come on then.
What? Come on. What do you
Let's
mean?
get to it. It's almost quite nice, and one could say respectful, that they chose to go with a lot of the original dialogue with some minor changes. But I feel like that was a terrible decision. I think they should have updated it. I don't really know why they chose to go with that. I think, if you give it a complete rewrite and bring it up to date, it could have been much better, because it sort of felt like they were trying to do what the original did and have people's responses to things be maybe not in keeping with the emotion that the questions were asked in, or like they were going for this sort of creepy, uncanny vibe, but it just reads as stilted in this movie.
Yeah, and a bit silly.
Yeah.
Was one of the lines that they reused for the remake, was it, "What's in that bag? Is it a shark"? Was that something that Edward Woodward said in the original?
Honestly, I can't remember, but I would not be at all surprised, because that was so strange. Why would that be your first guess?
It would have been even weirder if they went, "Yeah, how'd you guess?"
Yeah.
What was in that bag? It's like a Hessian bag.
We never
with
get
blood.
to see it.
We never find out. And that's my biggest problem
I
with this.
guess that's in the unrated.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
Mate, I need to get it. I need to get it.
I don't know why I'm selling this to you.
Do you reckon there's a second sight version of this, maybe?
I'm going to go no.
Get on it, second sight. I would like to remake the Bad Lieutenant movie, but I would like it to be with Nicolas Cage.
That's not bad. It's not terrible.
I would like him to play a detective that he's addicted to pain medication.
Oh, yeah. You're getting better.
I would like to set it in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, and vaguely maybe has something to do with the housing crisis of 2008.
You went a bit Scouse at the end there.
Did I? Did I?
Or maybe Welsh. 2008.
I think I will spend this entire
No,
review
God, no.
as Werner Herzog.
Please don't do that. Please.
I would like to have many reptiles in this movie. Why? I don't know.
Can we have Dan back in the room, please?
I'm back. Okay.
After being briefly possessed by Werner Herzog.
I had Werner Herzog inside me for, too long. Longer than he's ever been inside me. Bad Lieutenant. And grounding his character, I just thought really worked very well for me. But that's not to say that I couldn't watch another film where someone's just a complete scumbag for seemingly no reasons, or perhaps there are reasons that aren't fully explained, that are just hinted at maybe, and that can be enough as well.
I think it's definitely a matter of personal taste for me,
Yeah.
because films like Wolf of Wall Street, for example, obviously
Masterpiece.
across the board critically acclaimed, everybody loves it, you think it's a masterpiece. I struggled with it, man. Because, and I get it. I get it that it's played for laughs, it's a comedy, what have you, but he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy watching that. I don't know. I think I struggle with that for the same reasons I struggled with this. I don't know why that's such a stumbling block for me. And yet I'll watch horror films where people are murdering teenagers for no good reason and think it's excellent.
like you say, it's just a matter of taste. Wolf of Wall Street is a really good comparison. Like, I enjoy that movie, and like you say, everybody on the planet apart from you enjoys it.
I can fully acknowledge it's a brilliantly made film.
No, but the problem with the movie. It's not a problem with the movie. Let me say that now. There's not a problem with the movie. It's fantastically made. It's one of Scorsese's best. It's in his top 5 for me easily.
No, my problem with the movie is Jordan Belfort.
But yes, that's you're meant to have a problem with him. You're meant to be this is a piece of shit. But it's so fucking crazy and absurd, the stuff that happens in it. It's kind of entertaining while you're watching it. But the problem is that a lot of people watched it and went, I really want to be a trader.
Yeah, a lot of people took the wrong message from that movie.
It's the Fight Club problem.
Yeah.
I want to start a fight club. No, my guy, you didn't watch that movie, did you? And if you did, you didn't understand it, did you?
But it's the same sort of group of films that those people always cotton onto. American Psycho.
Great example, yeah.
You've already said Fight Club. What's the other one?
Choke.
Was that Chuck Palahniuk as well?
That was Sam Rockwell, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, he loves wanking.
Yeah.
In the movie, I don't know about Sam Rockwell. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Who doesn't love wanking? Most people enjoy it, I think.
Someone without hands.
Oh, dark.
Mm.
But
I'm sure there's a tool replacement for that.
Yeah.
But movies like that, like you say, American Psycho, Fight Club, like there's a bunch of those movies. That
The Matrix is another one that they always just people take the wrong message from it.
Oh, don't the fucking red pill.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, and twat face, what's his name?
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, you knew what I was talking about. The amount of times he brings up the Matrix.
Yeah.
And I'm so offended by that, because what he's referring to as the Matrix is not real for a start, but also you're taking this movie that had really good intentions and it's a fucking great movie, and you're kind of pissing on it.
Made by two trans women. It's not, that's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
He and they do not have the same ideologies, I would hazard a guess.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, yeah. But
so
that's
yeah,
just a good example of people taking a property and just completely taking the wrong lessons from it, not really understanding what they're watching.
But it's difficult though, isn't it? Because if if you accept that once a piece of art is out into the world, everybody gets to draw their own conclusions. Yeah. Everybody gets to take their own read of it. Then who are we to say anybody's doing it wrong? It's really difficult.
I would say anyone that watches Andrew Tate content unironically.
Yeah, and if you're using it for nefarious purposes, like to further your own agenda, then that's bad, obviously. But not relevant to Port of Call, New Orleans.
No, I can't imagine anyone's watching this film and going, I really want to try some heroin.
Yeah, what a hero this man is.
Yeah.
Look at him accepting his promotion dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
What film are we covering next week, Dan?
Well, next week will be the penultimate. Sadly, we are in a tail end of my Nicolas Cage season.
I'm not sad about it.
I'll be so sad when it's done. But it's the penultimate episode of this season next week. And we're jumping ahead again by nearly a decade. We're chronological order, you understand. We're doing Mandy, which I believe is 2018.
Was this at my request? I did push hard for this one.
Well, it was this one, and there was another one that I think you were kind of hopeful that we would cover. But
yeah.
I think perhaps we would get that one, and maybe we'll talk about it in the Mandy show. We'll get that one into another theme.
Yeah, for sure.
But for sure, there was an element of, okay, I've made you watch The Rock and Face Off and Vampires.
I'll throw you a bone.
I'll throw you a bone. But also, like, it's a great movie, and I think I've only seen it once, and it's one of those where I was like, it kind of blew me away when I saw it, and it's one of those that stayed with me for a long time. And I'm really interested to revisit it and see if I have a same or different experience. Like, it's a very weird movie.
Sure is, yeah.
But we'll dig into Mandy next week.
I can't wait. So, Dan.
Sarah.
I seem to remember at the start of this season you promised us 3 Nicolas Cage facts each show.
Oh, yeah, you're going to call me out on this.
I am going to call you out on this because we haven't had any for a while now.
No. I've got one for you now.
Oh.
Nicolas Cage, he was in a movie called Mandy. And
I did not know that. Yeah. Fascinating.
No, you're right. I'm glad that you mentioned it, actually, to be fair, because, yes, I did commit at the start of the season to giving everyone 3 Nicolas Cage facts per episode, which would have equated to 24 Nicolas Cage facts.
Which sounds easy, to be honest. He's a very interesting man.
I think it was probably doable. But the problem is that when I committed to that, I was unemployed. And then after a couple of episodes, I all of a sudden got busy as fuck and I had to work. So I kind of had way less time.
So what you're saying is you've got commitment issues?
I've got commitment issues. Yes,
That's
if you
troubling to me as your partner.
So I haven't. Yes, that I fell off the wagon on the Nicolas Cage facts. You are absolutely correct, and I can do nothing but apologise for my behaviour. I am going to seek therapy and address this head on. You know,
I think you should. It's only right.
It's not. I'm not proud of it. It was a different time back then. Like I said, I was unemployed. But I hear what you're saying, and I think I will address that head on and try and be a better person and not commit to something I can't fulfill.
That's all we can ask.
And I think that makes me a great guy to admit that. Yeah, so I've got no more facts for you, unfortunately. But you had
We had some good ones. Yeah. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah.
I tried to do a bit of a dive on this because obviously triangles are, having seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, really prevalent in Cosmatos' work. But also in horror films in general and in the kind of pop culture realm. And they're often associated with things like the Illuminati.
Right.
So I was like, why the fuck are triangles evil? I decided triangles are evil. And I couldn't find any sort of reasoning or general consensus. I did read somewhere that sort of the triangle often kind of represents stability. So when you flip it on its head, it kind of represents instability, I guess. And also there were some references to things like the 3-pointed shape being the Holy Trinity.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm stumped.
There's something very arresting about the image of a
Oh,
triangle
yeah,
when it's
yeah.
used correctly. Like I think you mentioned the void earlier. That's when I think of triangle. I can't believe we're talking about triangles in movies, but like,
well, they have that on their hoods, don't they?
Yeah, but like I think just think about that cover and the t-shirts. You've got the void t-shirt, haven't you?
I did.
Yeah. Oh, you got rid of it.
I did.
Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, there's something quite disturbing about it, like especially if it's like a neon situation happening.
Neon demon. There's a big neon triangle on the front.
Yes. Yes, it is weird, isn't it? Like I hadn't thought about that before, but it is very unsettling. Like, is it something about 180 degrees situated? Like, do we not know. Like? And what sort of triangle are we talking?
Isosceles.
Isosceles triangle. Are we talking Toblerone? Are we talking pyramid?
Toblerone are known as being the most evil chocolate.
Yeah. Although they did used to follow us on Instagram.
Used to?
Yeah, they stopped following us. So
pricks. Did they figure out we were vegans?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, they're not even going to buy from us.
No.
We don't want your overpriced airport chocolate.
Yeah, it just hurts the roof of your mouth when you eat it. Like, it seems like a nice idea. You think that's interesting. That's not a rectangle. Let's put it in my mouth, and then you get a little like cut in the top of your roof of your mouth, and it hurts for like a week and a half.
Overrated.
And you regret it.
Yeah.
It's like, I regret eating that Toblerone.
So they are the most evil chocolate.
They are. They're shit, and I'm glad they aren't followed us. Fuck them. Yeah, like the other great triangle movie, Stargate, of course. But the triangles in that movie they're sometimes evil, but sometimes camels live in them or something.
Yeah, that's what you took from that movie, was it?
What happened in that? All I can remember from that movie is Bunny Way.
All I can remember is Kurt Russell's terrible jarhead haircut.
Yeah,
awful.
Great movie though.
It is a great movie.
We should. What theme are we going to get Stargate into?
Let's finish Mandy first, please.
Okay. Yes. So we get that. I can't believe that tangent we went on. You brought up triangles, so it's your fault.
Well, I was desperate to know.
I suppose I owe you an apology.
You do.
It's been a pretty crazy season.
Mm-hmm.
My Nicolas Cage season. You always correct me on that. Yeah, I don't know. Like we're covering Pig. If you haven't guessed already, like it's in the description. And it was between this and a few others. Maybe you should have gone for something a bit more upbeat as a final episode, because this is a little depressing.
A little depressing. Yeah, you could say that. I mean, I was pretty ruined after we watched it.
Both times,
yeah. This was a second watch for both of us, was it?
Yeah. You blind bought it, didn't you?
I think so, yeah. I think it's one that sort of snuck up on us. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, have to buy that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ruined me. And I had exactly the same experience watching it for a second time. So I don't know, man. I'm going to try really, really hard not to cry in this episode. When I say like it fully destroyed me, I'm tearing up now just thinking about it.
Really?
I don't know why. Yeah, this film really, really affects me emotionally.
And I'm the one that loves pigs.
I love pigs too.
I mean, but pigs are my favourite animal. Like,
Yeah.
if I could just easily have a pet pig, I would do it. No question.
I mean, you can have a pet pig, but easily is maybe not part of that equation.
Easily was the key word.
Yeah.
In the description. Yeah. It's 2021.
Yep.
This film, so it's our newest Nicolas Cage movie. Been going in chronological order this time. It was hard to narrow it down to 8. We'll talk about that more in our wrap show, perhaps, over on our Patreon feed.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what didn't make the cut, actually.
Well, everything else.
Yeah.
That he's done.
His entire other filmography.
Yeah, but
God, that's going to be a long show.
yeah, we're not going to go through every single one of his movies. Just other ones that I was considering, really.
So what Dan's saying, you're promising to review every single other Nicolas Cage film in the wrap show?
No, but what I am promising is that we'll cover another 8 when we do Nicolas Cage 2.0.
No, look, maybe a decade from now.
A decade from now.
Yeah.
When he's got another 130 movies out.
Yes, exactly. Assuming I live that long.
There'll probably be a The Rock sequel by then.
Probably. Maybe we'll get the Face Off sequel that's been teased for so long.
Yeah, fucking Wingard, pull your finger out, man. What are you doing? So going to the beginning of the movie then, it begins with Cage living in the forest with the pig and they're looking for truffles. And it's the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes, it's just those two just milling about in the forest.
I would happily have watched that for an hour and a half. I'm not going to lie.
All right. I don't know if I could. I was getting ready for things to happen, to be honest.
I was digging that. That pig was so cute.
Do you know what the pig was called?
No. Do you?
No idea.
Oh. I do know that because the budget was so low, as I mentioned earlier, they could not afford a fully trained pig. So they just had to hire a regular pig. And because of that, and because of the shoot schedule being only 20 days, it kept biting Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And after one particularly nasty bite, he was sort of joking about the things that have happened to him on sets, like, oh, he's been lit on fire, all these things have happened. He was like, but I'm going to die of sepsis from a pig bite, aren't I?
Well, he wasn't actually on fire for Ghost Rider, was he?
Yeah, there was no CGI.
That's impressive.
And at the end of Wicker Man.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so not a show pig.
Oh, interesting. Yes, it is amazing that they managed to get any footage at all with an untrained pig.
I know, it was so good though.
So they just found like a pig just milling about in the forest and went, "Yeah, do you want to be in a movie, pig?"
Oh, well,
like, yeah.
I don't think there was a conversation. I assume
Pigs are very clever. You don't know that.
They are very clever. Yeah, they're sort of similar to dogs in intelligence, I believe.
Yeah, possibly.
Your favourite animal. You should know this.
Well, I'm not a pig expert. I just like them. All right. I'm not bored of Nicolas Cage.
I'm not bored of him. I've just got fatigue. I've had enough for now.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
He's a lot. He's an intense actor.
I think he's like my second or third most watched actor of all time on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's Samuel L. Jackson because he's been in 10,000 movies, and then Nicolas Cage, I think.
I could believe that.
Yeah. But yeah, that brings us to the end of Coming of Cage. And it's been a real journey, hasn't it?
I'm proud that I didn't cry this episode.
Yeah, you did well. But yeah, you'll be pleased to know that we've now reached the end and we're moving on to something else next season.
What is that something else?
Well, it's season 10. And we thought, didn't we? We thought we would do something a little bit different. We always take it in turns to choose seasons for a start.
And we always do 8 films a season.
Yes. So this time we thought, well, why don't we
not do that?
Not do that. Yeah, tune in to find out in 3 weeks. Yeah, we thought, let's do a slightly longer season. Season 10, so we're going to do 10 episodes. Mm-hmm. We've chosen a theme together. we agreed on it together. And we've chosen 5 movies each. And the theme is flops.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an interesting season because I think, well, we've pretty much nailed down what the lineup is. which will be announced on Patreon on our free tier in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
But it's not to give too much away, but it's gonna be probably mostly bad movies.
You say that. This has been an eye opener for me because so many of my favourite movies are on this list.
Yeah.
But apparently, I have terrible taste.
Well, and me too. There's some of my favourite movies are on this list.
And some others.
I don't. Have I picked a good movie? I don't know if I have actually. I think all of mine might be classed as terrible movies, but I love some of them. But yeah, so we'll be back in a few weeks for season 10 flops, 10 episodes. If you want to see the lineup, be on Patreon in a few weeks. Become a free member. Check it out.